Welcome to Tea Time with Gary and Terry. I'm your guest host. Some call me the Rabbi of Judah, others call me Big Bear, and even others call me Dickhead. Today is episode 1098, Princess Bride Analyzed and an ode to the best of Ireland. And of course, tea. Everybody likes tea, right? Right? Hi, everybody. What's going on? I have a good episode for you today. Good? No. Great. It's great. We'll be analyzing The Princess Bride. For those of you that haven't seen my previous episode about The Princess Bride and how it metaphorically ties in with an event that happened in America in 2001, go watch that because it's really good. And there's a lot in there that I won't be talking about today, and about how this movie, The Princess Bride, has an unbelievable amount of truth in it. You know, a lot of truther movies, people will look at They Live and The Matrix and all that. I think there's more in The Princess Bride than any movie I've ever seen. It explains the culture and strategies and tools of the machine, the system, the jabblers and the grabblers and the babblers. It's all right there. It's the most nakedly obvious, and it's also a really good movie. It's also, I liked it when I was a kid. I like it when I'm an adult. But the more you watch it, the more you realize it is a naked display of power. And so we're going to talk about that today. Like there's the straw man identity, branding, false flags, war, how they view marriage, all of it. All right. Am I live? I think I'm live. Bipolar says inconceivable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So watch that other episode, Kyneton. I don't know if you're here yet, but oh God. Yeah, there it is. Actually, Cod, will you also, I think it's only available at unauthorized.tv or maybe also on BitChute, but can you tell the people what episode the Princess Bride one is? Because go back and watch that. It was a lot of people's favorite ep I did, and it was something they could share with their friends and family and not trigger. Oh, Denmark Bear, speaking of, I actually found Denmark Bear's office in Denmark. This is the sign that's in his office. It says anal on it, for those of you just listening. All right. They love doing that, huh? Alltag Mass, Nahe, Vermidie, App, Luften, Anal. God, they love that shit. Okay, so as you guys trickle in, because I said it might have been, yeah, I just doxed Denmark Bear. Look, there he is. There's his office. You can see him in the back eating a croissant. Okay, so the beauty of the Bears is, one of the many beauties of the Bears is there's a real culture. We make culture. We're not a counterculture. We make culture. And I was talking with a buddy today about how funny it is that so much culture is coming from a guy who works with milk culture all day long. Like, for those of you that don't know, I'm constantly milking goats and cows and making cheese. So there is a lot of culture coming through my hands every day. And then it magnifies to actual culture. And just like a lot of deceit and agendas and filth and corruption on a basic ground level, just keep magnifying through the rings of power until it's just a clown show that no one understands. It's like, so why are we cutting off our dicks? And everyone's like, I don't know. It's like all these little tiny sins and agendas. It's almost like toxicity or nutrition through the energy cycle of eating. So if you have really toxic plants and grass, if the animals eat it, it builds up the toxicity in the animal flesh. And I think it's similar in a good direction. Like, I'm constantly dealing with raw milk and culture. And then I just fire up the live stream and we make culture. And we now have odes being sung to heroes and legends in our cyber pubs across this realm. Oh, God just did it. So The Mechanics of Deception, 9/11 and The Princess Bride. There it is. Thank you, Kyneton Bear. So check that out. It's legit. What is going on here? All right. Let's check out an ode to Mountain Bear that a bear made. And I'm very happy that somebody made this because he deserves every bit of it. Is it just me or is everything like flickering? All right, here we go.
Now, for the main event, Mountain Bear.
Oh, gee, well, he started taking Big Bear rips and synchronizing them with South Park clips just before the copyright man came around. But he didn't let him get it down much, so we drew cartoons with a personal touch and created a brand new genre. He draws Jimmy Fallon, Alex Jones, Martin Kenny and his Glober Trolls, Corky Q-Tides and the Squirtle. YouTube banned him when his views had to tick, but he didn't flinch and he came back quick. No despair, that's our boy, that's the Mountain Bear. While most of the people have fear to feed, our Mountain Bear knew it was time to breed. Now he's raising his new mountain cub. While he spends his time at the diaper station, the bears are waiting for his new creation. Anticipation growing every day. He draws Jimmy Fallon, Alex Jones, Martin Kenny and his Glober Trolls, Corky Q-Tides and the Squirtle. YouTube banned him when his views start to tick, but he didn't flinch and he came back quick. No despair, that's our boy, that's the Mountain Bear.
Hey everybody, it's a goblin! And oh Jesus, it's a mythical goblin! And it's my bear mix all over again, oh Jesus!
It's a goblin, kill on fire! Use silver! Use silver! I think silver works out.
Jesus! Oh David, man, I fucking hate you.
He draws Jimmy Fallon, Alex Jones, Martin Kenny and his Glober Trolls, Corky Q-Tides and the Squirtle. YouTube banned him when his views start to tick, but he didn't flinch and he came back quick. No despair, that's our boy, that's the Mountain Bear.
Jesus, I've been whacking off in a ficus tree.
So you can always check out Mountain Bear. All his works are at unbearablesmedia.com. And if you like the infrastructure and how that's all set up, you can always donate, but it's there for free if anybody wants to enjoy it. But donations help us build. Yeah, that's amazing. That's all. It's like somebody just made this amazing ode to Mountain Bear and just put it up. I don't even know who did it. God just sent that to me right before I was going live. And if you want to tip me and Cod, the stream, it's entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy and P.O. Box 490 Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. Okay, so yesterday I asked people what was their favorite quotes in The Princess Bride. My computer may like shut down, by the way. I'm getting like a lot of problems with it right now. And are you guys getting my my stream clear and everything? And ever since Cod posted that link, it's just like everything's like flickering. Oh, we got a lot of awesome. We got a lot of super chats. Oh, Greg. I mean, this is like a long one. I appreciate it though, buddy. All right. This summer all right, I don't know how to read this. Oh, I got to read it backwards. Got it. Hello, Owen, longtime listener here. Please keep an eye out for an email entitled Magic Feathers and Gregory's Allegedly Illegible Handwriting. You were talking about sun gazing the other day. I wanted to contribute some gravy. One of many teachers on my path is a Navajo medicine man whose grandpa lived to 137. He said the secret to the longevity of those old Indians is that they would walk toward the rising sun every day. No staring at it. Anyway, I thought the group might find that fascinating. I pray Bunny's eyes are healed quickly. It was Rebecca Bear did some sun gazing at like noon and she hurt her eyes. I've never suggested it, by the way. That was from another channel that I will remain nameless. If you would please verify me as keeper of the Mountain Bear, welcome. I'm on IG and BT with that handle. You can check out my building skills in Spokane Valley Homestead Revival. Maybe you'd like some help this summer with your projects. Also, my brother and I will be building a Mustang rescue ranch on our 40 acres in the Okanagan to get kids out of ghettos and fill the likely need of a Pony Express. Wow, that's genius. I'm so glad you're doing that. That's how you help ghetto kids, by the way, is you get them doing that stuff, like start a farm and have them work on it. And also, yeah, we may have to start our own new Pony Express. Wow, great job. Thank you. Sorry for being a little bitchy at first. Sometimes I don't understand how to read multiple super chats, and that was my annoyance, not the content. I woke up a little bitchy this morning. I didn't sleep great last night, which is rare. I think I had I had ice cream late. Amy made, this is the thing. Oh, how dare you? It's so indulgent. My wife makes homemade ice cream from her own cow with like everything homemade for her family that was all staying here all weekend. Because Walter's birthday, we had her parents and grandfather and all of us staying in our barn. It was amazing. And so yeah, I got a little bitchy. It's evident in your handsome face. Oh, thanks. Who would have thought Kevin Costner in The Postman was a bear? Yeah, he's a legend. Okay, so let's talk about, well, first, would you like to see my batting average continue to soar? Trump's own platform, says someone late to the party. Former President Trump is starting his own social media platform, a senior advisor said. Well, hopefully he also has a time machine and he can go back and do it when it mattered. But also, I mean, they're all puppets, guys. They're not real. They're not really doing anything. But I did call that. I called that about a year ago. Instead of ice cream, anybody can see it, Big Bear. Well, you show me the timestamp when you called it. I mean, I called it in my mind. Okay, I know how it always goes. Yeah, it's good. If he doesn't call it my squirt or squirter, he doesn't understand his audience. His audience loves the letter Q, and they love to squirt. And so squirter or my squirt will be a home run. So Trunk, you can name it everything you want. I know it's going to be like freedom or something, but it should be squirter because these people they don't care about freedom. They care about squirting. Okay, and this, by the way, this is a great, great way to argue any point in the future. Okay, there's something very wrong when society cancels children's books and cartoons, but not pornography. Okay, this isn't so this is America. I'm not complaining. I'm not engaging. I'm letting you guys know that this is an angle when you're talking to anybody about any of this stuff, where it's like, oh, we need to cancel Dr. Seuss or whatever, anything that you're talking about. Just go. So then you're also in favor of banning porn. Oh, and Benjamin shouldn't be allowed on the internet. It's like, oh, so neither should pornography. And there's no argument that porn is not only racist, but it's sexist. A lot of those people in porn are human trafficked out of Asia, out of Eastern Europe, out of all of these places. And it's the suicide rate. Like what? You can't possibly look at pornography and say that isn't the worst thing you can do to a woman. It's not empowerment, okay? So if somebody wants to cancel the Cat in the Hat, they should also want to cancel an anal gangbang, where people are acting out incest fantasies. And I know what I'm saying is shocking a little bit, but it has to be, because this is how you should argue with these people. If you do want to engage at all, and they're like, well, it's just, we have to cancel blah, blah, just be like, so you're definitely pro-canceling porn then? Porn should be illegal. Oh, how dare you? It's my freedom. No, it's disgusting and it hurts people. Like, for example, my wife's mom is a cancer nurse. Guys, you know how bad smoking is for you? Like, the amount of people that get cancer from smoking is insane. And it's like esophagus cancer, whatever. Porn is subvert. Yeah, it should be illegal. Like, if you don't think porn should be illegal, you're nuts. Oh, freedom, but don't come to my freedom. It's really, really bad. And if we sat down and we watched some of these scenes together, and I looked at you and I said that should be legal in your nation, I would judge you. Like, it's so bad. I'm not talking about like the form of a woman on a beach or something. I'm talking about porn. You know what porn is. It's bad. And it's not about freedom. It's about degrading kids. It should be banned. And anybody that doesn't think that is a porn addict. Like, if you actually stop watching porn for a long period of time and you look at what it is, it's so bad. Doesn't it come down to morality again, BB? If we live in a nation of laws, how is that not illegal? To shoot that stuff, you have to basically break people. You need slaves. We're going to talk about that in Princess Bride. Yeah, of course it's morality. I also think abortion should be illegal. It's murder. You can't have laws and then not have laws. It's like, well, we got to go get these pedos. Yeah, they're called the porn companies. Oh, no, but not my naughty, dirty trick, not my treat. Okay. Without the camera in the room, paying the woman is right. The fact there's a camera in the room and they can broadcast it to every home in the world is the only reason it's not already illegal for prostitution. And then you get into human sex trafficking. Okay, so the existence of a camera does not make that act good. Oh, you're such a prude. Hey, whatever. Okay, so what was I just talking about? I don't remember. Princess Bride? We're going to talk about Princess Bride. Oh, the porn thing. Yeah. When people want to clutch their pearls about canceling a comedian or canceling Dr. Seuss or canceling Mr. Potato Head or anything, use it as a way to bring up porn and also cancer. Yeah. My wife's mother has dealt with a lot of cancer patients, and I was asking her like who are these people? Like, where do they usually come from? What is it? And a lot of it is exposure to chemicals and smoking. A lot of them come from the shipyards. A lot of them have jobs where they're exposed to intensely carcinogenic stuff, and also smoke. Like, smoking's really, really bad. To have cigarettes sold at every, and I'm not starting a campaign to make smoking illegal or even porn illegal or anything like this. It's not my fight. I'm not a legislator. I'm just saying, in a world with laws, and if you really are about protecting people, there's nothing more destructive than like porn, smoking, all this stuff. Like, smoking is crazy bad. And the amount of pain and money and resources and just horror that comes with smoking is mind-blowing. And my wife's mother deals with it all the time. Does anyone have the Entropy link? Oh, yeah, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. I was going to do a light stream today, too, and I'm just ranting about porn and smoking. You know, I just want to be able to do whatever I want. Okay, well, then you can't have any laws then. You can't have rape laws. What is rape? Best stream ever already. Oh, thanks, Berserker Bear. Lady QAnon Bear, any chance of an evening piano stream soon? Have a great day, BB. Lady QAnon Bear. Whenever I get a lot of mail, that's usually when I do a piano stream so I can catch up. Okay, let's talk about The Princess Bride. So The Princess Bride, I really like the movie, okay? But I'm going to be a little critical of some of the points that it might sound like I'm being a dick, but I'm really not. It's an insight into the jabblers, grabblers, and babblers that made the movie. Okay, so you have Wesley, this farm boy, and the way he shows his true love to Princess Buttercup is by saying, as you wish. What is rape really? Ha ha ha, hard one these days. Right. I mean, I think that getting drug-addled girls to have sex on camera for money is a form of rape. Because men have authority over women in society. Like, we shouldn't allow that. Like, we shouldn't allow our women to be put in that position. We have more authority than them. Oh, how dare you? We're all the same. No, we're not. Women are more vulnerable. They are more easily coerced. And so it's a man's job to not drop your pants and start jerking off to her horror. It's to stand up for her. Oh, she wanted it. She's such a slut. No, they're not really sluts. They're reliving trauma, so they act like sluts so that like no one can hurt them again. It all comes from childhood shit. And then also addiction. They'll do whatever daddy tells them to get that hit so that they don't feel as much pain inside them. So it's the man's fault. It's always the man. Just like the woman is responsible for the children. All right. Okay, so it starts off with Wesley and Buttercup. And the way Wesley shows his devotion and love for Buttercup is saying, as you wish. Okay, that's already cucking. That's already simping. Where it's like, as you wish. It's like, farm boy, fetch me that pail of water. He's like, as you wish. And she's like real bitchy to him. And he just will do anything she says. And that's how they start love. And a lot of grabbler, babbler, and jabbler society, cultures, families, that's how it actually is. The woman dominates the man. And you'll see this throughout the entire Princess Bride, right up until, like these two. Billy Crystal and his liar, I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. You never had it so good, right? It's a horrible, horrible depiction of true love. And when there was actually love, the man was everyone wanted to murder him. Okay, so let's start off with, now that my computer's not glitching, I'm going to go to my Gary and Terry page and find all of the quotes that you guys said you really liked. Hang on a second. Have we done it? Guys, we're at 499,823 views at Tea Time with Gary and Terry. After this stream, we will have broken 500,000 views. So when the channel is destroyed, which it will because we're starting to get those type of numbers, I will see you at Healthier Alone. Okay, so let's see. Princess Bride stream Monday. What are your favorite lines? Okay, let's go through them. You rush a miracle, you get rotten miracles. You got money? Right? And then you also have that character. I'll get more organized in a second. You have that character is also a scammer. You have the guy playing all the stereotypes of a certain tribe of people that we're not allowed to make fun of according to most law at this point. It's like, do you think it's going to work? It'll take a miracle. Bye-bye, boys. Right? So they just committed fraud. Okay, but that's okay. I don't think that word means what you think it means. That guy's a great actor. No more rhyming, I mean it. Does anybody want a peanut? People in masks cannot be trusted. Oh my God, I love that. Guys, there's so much foreshadowing in this. Hang on, watch this. You guys want to see some gravy? You guys want to just start off with some gravy? Okay. I have it on very low quality so I don't trigger a copyright. Check this out.
Be careful. People in masks do not be trusted.
Okay, so people in masks cannot be trusted. And then later, you can write that off as coincidence, but it's not coincidence because later, Andre the Giant also says, why do you wear a mask? Are you a burn victim? And he said they're terribly comfortable. Everyone will be wearing masks in the future. Okay, so there is a real peek behind the veil in this movie, The Princess Bride. So many people focus on they live in the Matrix and all that. It's right here. Okay, life is pain, Your Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling you something. That's demonic. All right. Wesley's response to you, I think everybody will in the future. They're terribly comfortable. Yeah. My name is Enigma. I do not mean to pry, but do you by any chance have 6 fingers on your right hand? I think that's a reference to Nephilim too. I like when Till Rogan crawls out. Never trust anyone in a mask. I love the Grab War character. You've been mostly dead all day. They're terribly comfortable. All right. All right, so let's start off with how the real movie kicks off. You see, and guys, definitely go watch my Mechanics of Deception with The Princess Bride. It's a stream I already did about this, so a lot I will not be covering again. This is just talking about the mechanics of the system in this movie, not deception. But they right here in this scene, the princess is riding her horse through the forest, and what did they say? What was the exact? Okay, I'll just remember. He goes, "We are but lost circus performers," and so they use empathy to trick the princess, who at that moment is dressed as the Whore of Babylon. She's in a red dress. And she goes, no one is around for miles. And she goes, then no one will hear you scream. All right, so they kidnap the princess. And this is when the real gravy starts happening. So he's tearing off a piece of fabric from a soldier from Gilder to start a war with Florin. And he says, Gilder is the sworn enemy of Florin. This fabric will make everyone suspect the Gildarians after the princess's body is found on the Gilder frontier. Okay, and then Andre the Giant, who I actually think is the hero of the movie, I can talk about this later, goes, you never said anything about killing anyone. And he goes, I've hired you to help me start a war. It's a prestigious line of work with a long and glorious tradition. Okay, so they're showing you how a false flag operation works, and it's right in a child's movie called The Princess Bride. So the entire movie is about this corrupt prince and his little grab war buddy here. And he might as well be Ira. And there is a science behind starting a war. So the way you do it is you get the population to love a figure like Princess Buttercup or whatever, and then you kill her and you make it look like someone else did it to start an uprising because they have to sell it to the people. The royals just have like a dumb hat. They're just like people with stupid hats. They have to sell it using wizardry and witchcraft. Ira on the USS Liberty. Right, but they didn't want anyone to know about that one. They're like, oh no. Andre the Giant saves the husband and wife who will... Andre the Giant's the hero of the movie. In many ways. And so this is how the system will get good people to do bad things. So this next part is what I really want to talk about. So the Giant, who represents America, we can talk, just watch the other stream. The Giant is like, you never said anything about killing anyone. He goes, at first, Inigo Montoya also doesn't want to kill the woman. And he goes, when I found you, you were so slobbering drunk you couldn't buy brandy. And you, helpless, hopeless, friendless, brainless. Do you want me to send you back where you were unemployed in Greenland? And so his threat, and dude, I know this sounds like a stretch now, but by the end, you'll see that this tracks the whole movie. His threat is to get rid of his slave job. So they use appetites, addictions, and being low in society, like the drunk and then the miserable giant unemployed in Greenland. And they use that to get them, to coerce them into doing horrible things. And without Inigo Montoya's alcoholism and revenge, he wouldn't be capable of being manipulated by the little jabbler. And the same with the Giant. If the Giant wasn't lost and broken and whatever in Greenland and unemployed, he wouldn't have been manipulated. And even as they're climbing the rope to get over the cliffs of insanity, he uses that threat again. He goes, I'm just going to have to find a new giant. Because one of my favorite lines is, he goes, when I found you, you were this colossus, this great legendary thing. And he's talking about how the Men in Black is gaining on them. And he goes, and yet he gains. I just love how he delivers it. That guy is an unbelievable actor. That guy and Inigo Montoya are two unbelievable actors. Like their whole careers have been amazing. Like if you rewatch The Princess Bride, trust me, it's very subtle, but it'll make you laugh your ass off. The guy playing Inigo Montoya, the way he's holding the rope, he's almost touching the ground and his pelvis is like way out. It's absurd. And you know it was an actor's choice. It wasn't a director's choice. You know that he, as a man, pitched that and did it. Yeah, Mandy Patinkin. Yeah. He's like, guys, it's like really funny and absurd. There's no reason for him to be doing this. And it doesn't draw, like the movie script doesn't draw any attention towards what he's doing. But when he's holding the rope, he's just like, it's cartoonish. Like a cartoon wouldn't do it. I don't know if that makes any sense. So anyway, so the way that they get these people to do these horrible things is their addictions. Okay, and it also shows that the government isn't always complicit. The FBI gets blamed for a ton, and I'm no fan of what a lot of the FBI has done. There's another organization. I'm not even going to say there's such a bunch of gammas, but I live in North Idaho. There's been a lot of violations, to say the least. And so I'm not like a fan, but they get blamed for like everything. They're like, oh, the feds, the FBI. It's like many, many times they don't even know what is happening. There's a great, Bear Vision just said, I don't even want to talk about those people. So there's a great scene that kind of shows you the role of government agencies. So there's this scene where it's the head of his guard. You know, and the FBI is basically the head of the guard of the American royalty. And Princess Humperdinck is staging a false flag to start a war with the grabblers and the babblers and the jabblers and the sadists. And this guy, and so Humperdinck says, I'm going to trust you with some information. This is also what they do with a lot of compromised, not even compromised, like a lot of real thirsty truthers. I don't want to say their name. They're so worthless. 5 people say it anyway. Yeah, I just don't want to say it on the stream. I think it triggers a gamma hive. They're just so annoying. But anyway, so this guy is from what I see, a lot of generals, a lot of FBI guys, just trying to do their job. And granted, that can end up horrifying. But the Princess Humperdinck says, I've gotten word that there are thieves that are planning, Gildarian thieves planning on killing the princess on our wedding night. And he says, and you know that this is an authentic conversation because in the movie, no one else can hear them. So it's just a dialogue between 2 men. And he says, my spy network has not heard that, sire. So he's under the impression that this is all real. And so the prince gets him to, he goes, arrest everybody in the thieves' forest. He's like, we don't have the men to do that. Well, form a brute squad. Remember all that? And so based on false information, based on a tiny conspiracy by 3 total people, 3 total, you can see how the arms and levers of the machine, of the system, of the government start working with people having no idea what's happening. So that guy starts arresting everybody in the thieves' forest. So that would be the equivalent. We see it in government all the time. A crackdown, everybody with a mask, And so he looks almost sadistic in carrying out his actions, but he thinks he's doing it to save the princess. Someone's like, a Spaniard is giving us some trouble. And he looks down almost like the Count, the sadist, where he says, so you give him some trouble. And he's like, aye, aye. Right? And you think that he's just evil, but in reality, he's operating under the impression that it's just like, I know a ton of people that were in law enforcement. I know a couple people that were in the FBI. A lot of them retire up here. Former CIA people retire in North Idaho sometimes. That they truly believed that there was this whole terrorist thing happening in America in 2000. You know all this stuff. 100% thought it was all real. And so that's why a lot of the spell breaking can be damaging to these narratives, because that guy and all of his brute squad, if you were to tell them that they were going to fake, that they were going to murder their own princess and fake a false flag to start a war, he probably would not do it. And if he did do it, it wouldn't have the same effect. Like, they wouldn't do it as well. They would require a lot of money and threats and all that stuff. You are the brute squad. Right. All right. So, this is another unbelievable little scene here. And I know I'm jumping around, but I can't believe this was in the movie and people didn't really point it out. The Holocaust cloak. All right. So.
What I wouldn't give for a Holocaust cloak. There we can help you. What is that? Medical matches. It's so nice, I could keep it. All right. Come on, help me out.
Okay, so the Holocaust cloak. Literally, I've never heard that ever. No one's ever said that in my life. Well, it's just a coincidence, Big Bear. It's not like the person who gave him the Holocaust cloak was at all in that tribe. Really? Well, this is what the guy looked like who had the Holocaust cloak, and it's played by Billy Crystal, who was doing an over-the-top, crazy parody of what that was. So what is the Holocaust cloak? The Holocaust cloak is a giant thing, like a giant, thick black cloak that allowed him to be set on fire without hurting him at all. It is clearly in the movie, never heard of a Holocaust cloak before. Yeah, never. So the Holocaust cloak allows the fire of criticism to not affect the people in the Holocaust cloak. It is a liability shield. Okay, so, and this is another part that I want to talk about. It's the machine. So our brave hero, played by, I don't remember the guy's name, but he's called the Man in Black, Wesley. He ends up attached to the machine. Before that, I forgot to talk about this. So before that, they also talk about strawman identity and branding. So when he gets Buttercup back, he says, I am the Dread Pirate Roberts. And she says, how is that possible? You're Wesley. You're my Wesley. You're not Dread Pirate Roberts. He said, no, Dread Pirate Roberts is just a name. So the guy playing the Dread Pirate Roberts gave it to him so that he could be Dread Pirate Roberts. And that guy before him wasn't even the Dread Pirate Roberts. It came from a guy before him named Cumberbatch. And then before that was the real Dread Pirate Roberts. And you can see that with Paul McCartney and a lot of these people that are just playing a role. And a lot of times on the world stage, you'll see that. So the strawman identity, like my strawman identity, is a name. And my name, I can change my name. I can have a different alias. I can have a street name. Yeah, president is a title. So the Dread Pirate Roberts is merely a title. And the thing about branding is if you're not scary and mean and enough and you don't kill enough, then your brand goes down. We're seeing that right now in the American and world media. So the trusted news sources, the brand is weakening because the brand is not a person. The media was not Walter Cronkite. He was just a guy who accumulated trust so that people would watch the news and believe what the news said. At this point, only a very, very degraded, lowered man or woman would trust anything the news says because their brand is now lies and manipulation. And the news will intentionally use stories that no one can agree on. Like this incident that happened in Atlanta recently. If it was actual, it's all intentional. If it was actually what they claimed it was and someone's motivation was what they claimed it was, people would get along. The so-called right wing and the so-called left wing, the so-called whites, the so-called Asians, the so-called blacks, everyone would go, yeah, that guy intended to do that because of a race and he should be put in jail. And people would be like, yeah. And it doesn't cause division. The only way it works is if the people are arguing about what the event was itself. Like, Zimmerman and Martin. Remember back when that happened? It's like, so one group will see a race-oriented thing. Another group sees someone trying to protect their neighborhood. At no point are they allowed to agree because the divide and conquer strategy is the way they govern. So it's never by accident. And so now with the internet allows people to form groups and understand that there is ways of looking at the world in a more cohesive, non-right, left, white, black, divisive way. And so that all has to do with brand. Like after Fox News turned on Trump, their brand lowered in the right-wing community. It's still there. Like people will still watch Fox if they have to watch something between Fox and CNN, but it's lowered. And so that's kind of what a brand is, like Nike or like any of these, like Twitter. Twitter's brand is in the toilet. For as much as the truthers and everybody want to act like Twitter's so tyrannical and all that, they have no interaction anymore. Like I love when my wife's family visits because they're very normal. My wife's dad is a financial advisor and her mom is a nurse, like a long nurse, like been a nurse forever. And her dad was like, 85-year-old legend. We named our third son after him, Jack. He came too. Was in the army, just a sailor, just a real man's man. They don't ever go on Twitter anymore and they don't even really watch the news. And these are people that watch sports like in empty stadiums and stuff. Like they're normal people. And so Twitter is like dead because they kicked off everybody interesting. That's how culture works. Like to homogenize culture means to kill it. Coming from a milkman. I'm a milkman, ladies and gentlemen. Every morning I wake up and I milk a bunch of goats and a cow and I make cheese and okay. Pasteurization, homogenization is to boil and heat the milk so it kills everything in the milk. That's what they're trying to do. And when you do that, you can mass produce it, but it's bad milk. It lowers the quality. That's why the bears have such high quality. Like that Ode to Mountain Bear, that guy didn't get paid. He just did it because our community offers other alternatives. Like we create our own culture. We relish in the good, the true, and the beautiful. So even if people disagree and whatnot, it's welcome. because we're makers, we're creators. The rest, the mainstream are death. It's death. It's like everything has to be boiled and made dead. And because of that, when you're in a culture like ours, the sky's the limit. And so how do they break a man to get rid of his culture? Guys, this movie's mind-blowing. So Wesley survives the fire swamp, and his bride gets taken, and he's very cocky in like a very cool way, like how Anglo-British people were when they took over the world, where they're like, singed a little, were you? You know, it's like he's in the fire swamp, and he's like, the trees are actually quite beautiful. You know, just totally like the children's books I read my kids, like Sir Valiant and all that, where it's just totally unbreakable. And so he's on this. He gets kidnapped, and he's to be tortured. And he goes, torture. I can survive torture. And the torturer says, you'll never survive the machine. He goes, the torturer is like, you've been brave, but you'll never survive the machine. And so the machine is this contraption that sucks life. And it's in the pit of despair. Guys, this is the truther's truther movie. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about They Live and Matrix and all that. This is where the real gravy is. So they get a man, and this sadist says, I just took 1 year of your life away. How? Alcohol, smoking, despair, lowering the human condition. That machine is to lower the frequency of the man. And so this man that can survive pain and fire and all that, what does he do when he feels that? He just starts to whimper. The man that couldn't be broken is being slowly broken by the machine. And so the machine has a lot of cultural metaphors. So here's the song by Pink Floyd called Welcome to the Machine. Listen to the lyrics. Welcome, my son. Welcome to the machine. Where have you been? It's all right, we know where you've been. You've been in the pipeline, filling in time. Provided with toys and scouting for boys. You bought a guitar to punish your ma. You didn't like school, and you know you're nobody's fool. So welcome to the machine. Welcome, my son. Welcome to the machine. Listen to this. What did you dream? It's all right, we told you what to dream. You dreamed of a big star. He played a mean guitar and always ate at the steak bar and loved to drive in his Jaguar. So welcome, welcome to the machine. Okay, so how did they get Wesley to crack? It wasn't the fire swamp. It wasn't any of that stuff. It wasn't the normal methods. It was the machine. It was materialism. It was greed. It was lust. It was sloth. It was being in that soul-sucking machine of fiat currency that so many people are in. And throughout the movie, you'll see that there is like, their glimpses into marriage is so dark, because I think a lot of the people that wrote and made the movie were minions of the system, liar, seeing an old couple treat each other badly. It's very jarring to me because my wife and I treat each other with a lot of respect. And so I always found that to be crazy. So think about what's in A Princess Bride. You have false flags. You have the lies of the circus. You have the role of the government. You have the role of the machine. And this is just one look at it. It's littered with this stuff. The straw man, the brand, Dread Pirate Roberts, all that. And then the hero of the entire movie, the only one without an agenda, the only one without some sort of hidden purpose is the giant. The giant goes, I found the 4 white horses in case we found a lady. Hello, lady. And that was it. Like, that was the one good act in the entire movie. Everybody else was out for themselves or out for their own interests. And I just wanted to talk about it a little. Let's see. I think I wrote down some more lines. Oh, and it also foreshadowed masks. It both said people in masks are not to be trusted, and then everybody will be wearing masks in the future. It showed you how a living man is corrupted with their being a drunk or not having a community in Greenland. I know it's comedic. That's how they hide the best stuff in comedy. And then, did I make it clear that your jobs are at stake? Now we got some super chats. So that's just something to think about. All right, here we go. This is from Jilly Bear. Thank you for passing the gravy to us. Really appreciate you and Amy both so much and love seeing your boys grow. Wow, that's very generous. Thank you, Jilly Bear. Yeah, the family's doing awesome. And that's the important thing. And so, yeah, I mean, everyone is unemployed. And when I found you, you were a slobber, you were friendless, hopeless, brainless. BB, what do you think of Rob Reiner? I've heard from a lot of sources that he's a disgusting creep. I hear he's just absolutely like horrible. That's what I've heard, allegedly. I'm not making any claims. Andre was probably the only semi-base one set. Well, the guy who played Inigo Montoya is a great actor. And you can't really be a great actor without some sort of substance and some sort of commitment to truth, because a really good acting performance comes from truth. And that's why now you're seeing so much horrible nonsense junk coming out of Hollywood, because, oh yeah, there's a lot of creepy undertones in Princess Bride that you wouldn't even see if you weren't aware that they're capable of that. Like Fred Savage's life, I'm guessing, was very, very creepy. I'd love to hear more Vincini quotes read by Ira. Yeah, I mean, he was the Ira. He goes, you fell for one of the classic blunders. It's like, never fight a land war in Asia and never fight a Sicilian. How funny is it that the one time that if they had said what the tribe really was, and obviously was in the whole movie, Billy Crystal, all those guys, it would have been too obvious. They had to say Sicilian. Sicilians are known for duels and making olive oil. I remember Mandy Patinkin got banned for some PC thing. I don't even care anymore about PC. I just do my own thing. I don't, even if somebody doesn't rage against the system, like I have, I don't even hold it. As long as people make good art or what they make is good. Indigo is more of a Sicilian. Yeah, Indigo is way more. And Indigo is basically purple. You can get way into a lot of that stuff. Brazilians like Sam Hyde call them of the tribe. Yeah, but it's not even the tribe. Even saying Jew is a liability shield because so many of them aren't in on it. That's why I just say Jabler. A new one is Jabler, not just Grabler. Somebody wants to jab you. I want to stick it in your epidermis and see it squirt. The more you booze and the more you watch porn and sin, the more you're just owned by these people. I understand the theory that it's not the government's job to keep porno away from you, that you have to develop that on your own. But that being said, if the government is trying to ban clever speech but not porn, it's inherently evil, and you don't have to follow it. Because the government isn't inherently evil. It isn't. Like, the government really is like that guy. Where a lot of them are bureaucratic, functioning on their low consciousness and the information they're given and the protocols that they've been given. The government is a protection against evil. I understand Romans 13. I raged against it for over a year. I do understand it. Because the government and its protections and its charters and its constitutions, they don't found the Constitution. I'm telling you what it is. That protects you from the next wave of evil and chaos, which is the terms and conditions of the corporation. And then the final one is just Satan. You know, so you have the contracts, you have the corporate contracts, which offer you almost no protection. Hello, Bears. Third boy last night. Oh, amazing. All right. Do I have any more super chats? If not, I'll start opening mail. Oh, for those of you that joined late, let's play the Ode to Mountain Bear again. He deserves every note of this and more. And he's such a legend. He's the best of Ireland. He's such a legend that people are now singing songs about Mountain Bear in the pubs, of the cyber pubs.
Now, for the main event, Mountain Bear.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, he started taking Big Bear riffs and synchronizing them with South Park clips just before the copyright man came around. But he didn't let him get it down much, so he drew cartoons with a personal touch and created a brand new genre. He draws Jimmy Fallon, Alex Jones, Martin Kenny and his Clover Trolls, Corky Q-Tides and the Squirtle. YouTube banned him and his views had to tick, but he didn't flinch and he came back quick. No despair, that's our boy, that's the Mountain Bear. While most of the people have fear to feed, our Mountain Bear knew it was time to breed. Now he's raising his new mountain cub. While he spends his time at the diaper station, the bears are waiting for his new creation. Anticipation growing every day. He draws Jimmy Fallon, Alex Jones, Martin Kenny and his Clover Trolls, Corky Q-Tides and the Squirtle. YouTube banned him when his views start to tick, but he didn't flinch and he came back quick. No despair, that's our boy, that's the Mountain Bear.
Hey, everybody, it's a goblin. And yeah, oh, Jesus, it's a mythical goblin. And it's my turn mix all over again. Oh, Jesus.
It's a goblin killer on fire. You Silver. You Silver. I think Silver works at
Jesus. Oh, Daisy, man, I fucking hate you.
He draws Jimmy Fallon, Alex Jones, Martin Kenny and his Clover Trolls, Corky Q-Tides and the Squirtle. YouTube banned him and his views start to tick, but he didn't flinch and he came back quick. No despair, that's our boy, that's the Mountain Bear.
Jesus, I can whack off the ficus tree.
All right, everybody. I just started opening some packages. This is the most comfortable thing I've ever had on me. So this dude and his wife came to my son's B-Day. Amy got to know them very well, and wonderful people. So let's see what his note had to say. Like total legends. What do we got here? Dear Owen, thanks for all the laughs and gravy. A tip for the piano man, $66.60. This blanket is a gift for the whole family. I have several myself. I know you guys will love it. For every 5 that are sold, 1 is donated to a sick child in the hospital. The ranting about the Trinity is hilarious. A request from the piano man. Could you play Africa by Toto? Yes. Not the original lyrics, though. I think that may be too gay, even for Gary and Terry. A riff with Ira and the gang on the daily, weekly topic would be awesome. I'm a subscriber to Unauthorized.tv and Beartaria Times. May I please be verified as Sky High Bear? Yeah, he's a skydiver. Not because I really love meth, but because I really enjoy jumping out of airplanes. I'm a certified welder and a certified welding inspector. My family is relocating to Idaho very soon. I will help build Beartaria. I work for milk and cheese. Onward. Yeah, this guy rules. He's a great addition to the squad up here. My wife and his wife got kind of tight. They are friends now. And I was very happy. I'm not going to give any more information, but very cool people. I'd love to skydive sometime. Looks like a blast. I would never do it. BB is turning into the prototypical Bard King adorned with furs. I'm just a random guy adorned with furs. Okay, here's from another legend who's relocated to North Idaho. Frontlines Jack Bear. Dear Big Bear, I've sent along a fresh stack of candles to accompany the report from the front lines. Maria Bear's taken some pride in these new designs and wanted to send the first batch, post haste, to the piano man who serenaded us both with wonderful celebratory piano music the other night. Oh yeah, she got pregnant, which is awesome. His handwriting is amazing. Look at this. These are the type of letters we get here. I wouldn't jump off a ladder, guys. I like to be barefoot in the ground, like right in the ground. Standing on any, like when I was building the greenhouse, being on those ladders freaked me out. Like my brother, tree climber, no problem at all. I hate it. I hate heights. I hate everything about it. All right. Now on to the report. Oop, I'm losing my furs. Hang on a second. I feel like that was some sort of evil force. Was trying to make it so I wasn't king anymore. Oh, Jesus, I'm being attacked by Iras. Try and get that, Ira. All right. Van Allen Bear and I are making progress in an attempt at geopolymer formula I managed to unearth for an obscure 19th century Russian workman's guide. We should have a trial product of an agglomerated stone mass cured within the next few weeks. Huge, huge. That's the beauty of Ursa Rio. As long as the structures are small, it doesn't break code. We're allowed to build one big one. But, so we can just experiment all day on like how to build really cool stones. Geopolymers are sick. Another thing Van Allen Bear has been experimenting with at Ursa Rio, he goes up there more than anybody. I haven't been up there in months. He goes up there a lot. It's awesome. I need that. I need people to do that. He's working on building stone walls with wood. I don't know. The formulas we're working with are all very common building materials. They just need to be mixed in the right proportions. If these tests work, it could go a long way to explaining ancient architectural structures. Christopher Gardner is spot on. During your stream, he recommended Joseph Diridoriti. If you're looking for some deep geopolymer gravy, that's where it is. All right, I'll try and say it then in case anyone else wants it. D.A. Davidoritz. Geopolymers, the pyramids, and other megaliths. Very well. All right. I've been building castles in the sky for as long as I can remember. With the success of these geopolymers, I'll begin a logistical report of what will be needed for the castle at Ursa Rio. What else is a court architect for, after all? I love it, bro. No, it's not off the stream. I'm getting credit for my wonderful milk. Lastly, Maria and I have to thank you for the wonderful milk and eggs. A better tasting breakfast I've never had, and all came from Dandy. All the best to you and yours, Big Bear. Keep crushing, and God bless. Yours faithfully in Christ, Frontlines Black Bear of Snowdonia. I love it. No, it's the best milk and eggs in the realm. I'm not going to make that claim. How dare you take away my credit? Off screen. Oh, I get it. You don't want to make the others jealous, but real bears never get jealous. It's a good way to tell if someone's insane, actually. Because if I say something like that, it's like, why didn't I get any milk? It's like, you're now banned for life. And I'm really glad we pulled that out of you. Let me open up a couple more. I like it, though. I like where your head's at. It's better safe than sorry. Yeah. But I will be taking, it is the best milk in the world. All right. That Mountain Bear song is awesome. Oh, Cod's posting some funny stuff. Nice. This is such a good blanket. It's like mind-blowing. Okay, let's read some letters. Big Bear, not happy to hear about your back pain. Please bend your knees slightly. The smallest bend is enough every time your hands are in front of your body. Every time, even if it is just wash your hands. Has to be every time. If you think you are, you probably are not if you are hurting. Also, you must sit up straight at the piano strings. That means maintaining lumbar lordosis. Look it up. Very important. You know comedy. I know back pain. And very few people have back pain from just heavy labor. I like it. I like where your head's at. It is from not bending the knees slightly every time, he underlined that again, or from slouching long hours in front of a computer or your piano. In your case, piano. Do what I ask for 3 days vigilantly and try to prove me wrong. What do you have to lose? If I am wrong, you can prove one of your biggest fans is a quack. Ha, bad joke. Best wishes. God bless you and yours. Yeah. And 2. Best wishes. And then 3. P.S. Literally billions of dollars are made in the back pain industry because the people making the money will never tell you these 2 habits that must be established to get well. Bend at the knees slightly is enough every time you use your hands in front of your body and sit up straight. Repetitive, I know, but it is the difference between pain and wellness. I like it, Hobart Bear. God bless you and yours, and share with your wife. I think she has had problems with her back. I will indeed. I love it. How funny is that? Didn't even say who it was from, and I know it's Hobart Bear. Do not read on air. No problem. Shall we continue? Hobart Bear, good advice. Yeah, he's a legend. He's like such a generous dude. It's insane. Keep crushing. Logos is rising. Best wishes. The Lee brothers. Why, thank you. Wow. Generous. We will be building castles. We will be building castles with old American greenbacks. And the coins of our ancestors. All right. First mission this summer is bathrooms. Oh, nice. Thank you, Iron Man Bear. I keep losing my furs. Yeah, back pain is the entire opiate industry. Yeah. I think Hobart Bear literally just saved a lot of people from a drug overdose. If that really works, and I'm guessing it does, because he repeated it like 80 times, and usually that's when someone is like 100%. I'm like that. Yeah, where's the card I just got? Like, I'll just keep saying, like, stop watching porn. Stop watching porn. But I'm telling you, your mind is being twisted. The whole reason that the Grappler got, the Vincini got control of the Giant and the Spaniard for his bad plans was their addictions and their broken minds. I've never been addicted, or I've never even done opioids or anything like that. But like, I've had some issues with alcohol and sexual intercourse back in the day. So I understand addiction, but nothing comes close to porn. I mean, people have written me that they've been addicted to like fentanyl and porn. Like, cleaning up porn has changed everything. Think about how many marriages have been broken from porn. Where it's like the dude can't get a boner anymore because all he does is watch like crazy shit, and his eyes are now like jaded and fucked up. Like nothing turns him on outside of like insanity. And like he starts looking at the world differently. He stops valuing his wife's beauty. Just think about that. Think about how many problems porn causes. My wife watches porn too. We're so liberal. No, it's terrible. It's bad for women too. Think about how many women are right now alone with their vibrators and cats when they literally could have been like moms and wives and shit. And you don't think it affects you, where it's like, oh, they jokingly say it's their husband, their little vibrator. It's like, that's fucking gross. Oh, but it's so sexy and hot, Big Bear. On one level, on a very low frequency it is. And I'll admit that. Like, at a very low animalistic frequency, yeah, that's so cool. Anything above this, like, low, just like being hammered is fun on a very low level, because you're like, wow, I can't think properly. It's so silly. You know, it's so I'm not acknowledging that, but it's so low. I bet there's people in history, there's nothing better than just cutting a dude's head off that pisses you off. But think about what it takes from you, and it gets less hot with every passing day. You know? A 21-year-old, then a 25-year-old, then a 40-year-old, then a 60-year-old with the cats and the vibrators. Yeah, you still think you're really bringing all the boys to the yard? Fucking dude, and I'm telling you, it wires a woman's brain to think that she's satisfied, that she has a husband, that she has a man that's satisfying her, and she doesn't. She has a piece of plastic made in a Chinese sweatshop, and her cat would eat her body if she died. Fact. Her cat would be better served as a blanket around my fucking shoulders. What's one thing you can suggest we can say to close family and friends about stopping porn, BB? How many of them have killed themselves? Just jokingly be like, how many of those girls that you're whacking off to have killed themselves? I bet they're like skeletons now. All right. I learned a lot about not watching porn from knowing porn stars, because they would always hang out at comedy clubs because when they'd laugh, they wouldn't kill themselves. Tell them, and if they ever want to talk Q-tard stuff or like stopping pedophilia or stopping human sex trafficking, you can't even start stopping that until you stop watching pornography. Tom Barnett, who always crushes, was talking about how environmentalists that haven't stopped buying shit are just like nonsense. Like they're talking about how these ships kill all these whales coming from China, but yet they keep getting like new phones every fucking year. And he's like, the reason the ships are coming is because you keep buying all that shit. They just don't see the connection. I'm like, the reason there's human sex trafficking and the reason, just like the back pain industry with opioids, porn requires pedophilia. If you don't molest, not you personally, but if girls aren't molested and like raped as kids and they have good dads, you don't get porn stars. Like you don't just get, you can't convince a girl with a good dad that wasn't like molested to like fuck on camera for money. You need them broken. You need people with horrifying back pain to sell them drugs. Yeah, and it also breaks your wife can act all like it's hot all she wants. It's not. If you're watching other women, like she resents you for it. And she always, even if she doesn't know it yet. You want to hear a claim? I know more about what women think than a lot of them. Yes, child abuse and sex trafficking starts with you. Yeah, exactly. I stopped watching porn when I learned about sexual transmutation. Porn steals all spirituality from sex. Yeah, and a lot of them are dudes. Oh, here's another one. Just be like, oh, do you know how many of those girls are actually trans? It's like, oh, how dare you? Oh, yeah, buddy. If you're in that, some whale's got to go, says Van Allenberg. I appreciate you. Van Allenberg, you may be living at Ursa Rio. We may have to set you up there. When I went to China, my group was appalled by all the plastic bottles filling up all the riverbeds. Chinese don't care because they aren't benefiting from it. I don't know. Porn breaks your soul. Well, it keeps you in a lowered state. The good news is, as soon as you stop watching it, you heal really quickly. One of the best things about life, let's talk about something really good, and then I'll continue reading, is when you stop damaging yourself, you heal at a surprising rate. Like, I guarantee if I do what Hobart Bear says about my hands and shit and my knees and posture, I guarantee my pain goes down like really quickly. If you stop poisoning your mind and your heart and shit, within like a month, you'll be like, you'll think so clearly. That's why they used to say masturbation makes you go blind. It's spiritual blind. You're not physically blind. Like you can see out of your eyes. All right. So that, and dude, I'm saying this because I want stronger warriors and I'm not starting a war. I'm just saying like the more you guys stop watching pornography, the more it benefits me personally. You know, I'm sure skydiving Barry here, I'm sure I must have helped him along the way some way. And now he's adorning me with fine furs. BB, could you put on your crown and hold a knife? Well, I can hold a knife. I don't have my crown around. There we go. It's crazy that porn is not illegal. Crazy. Crazy. Same with cigarettes. Tobacco shouldn't be illegal, but the amount of cancer that shit causes is insane. And there's no benefit at all. Like, there's literally no benefit to smoking cigarettes. Like, to allow me to do jokes, it's like, the joke makes me cringe, but to ban it means that we have to ban all speech, and then who has the right? It's illegal in God's law. Right. We don't need, fuck their laws. And what I'm saying isn't about rebellion against the government at all, because if we follow God's laws, it doesn't even matter. Like, because we're still following man's laws. And I know it's not fair. Like, right now, they're processing criminals really quick. Where it's like, I'm trying to quit smoking. Yeah, make that a priority. Make that a priority. I chewed, and by the way, I'm not coming from a place of judgment. I mean, I am. But I chewed tobacco for like 20 years. From like, not very heavily for the first 10, but no, first 6. By the time I got to college, I was chewing tobacco all the time. I had to dip in like a ton. And then when I was on the road and I was like driving long periods of time, I just have like empty Kodiak cans all over my car. Like, gross. I'm so glad I quit that. Quit that on my birthday in 2000. I was with Amy. It was like the first year I was with Amy. I can't remember. But I gave myself more life as a birthday present. Okay. Owen, second installment for Ursa Rio. Has a little extra for the Piano Man. Keep crushing. Blessings to you and your family and all the Bears. Oakland in the house. Why, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Unnecessary. You're already a donor, but anything helps, and you guys are great with that. Vaping pod kills 5, gets banned. Meanwhile, tobacco kills 5 minutes. Right. Vaping's clearly better for you than smoking cigarettes. I would switch to vaping and then slowly get off that. Nice Christmas card, thank you. This letter is about the Trinity. Okay. I'll read it after. This is pages. I'm sure there's some good stuff in this. It's handwritten. Should I? Or is it too risky for me spiraling? I'm a 58-year-old homestead mom of 7 and 5 grandchildren. I'm down to my last homeschooler. Nice. I call people that vape vapists. Yeah, the vaped crusader. You might be wondering why an old woman is listening to your YouTube stream. 58 is not old. You got to understand, I was just with a downhill skiing 85-year-old. I'm convinced that 120 in the Bible is what we actually should be. The machine sucks life from us. Fact. We're supposed to go to 120 easily. I vape through my anus. Oh, Jesus. Listening to your YouTube stream. While I am in a situation with many similarities to your mother, not in the exact extent, but very similar and very lonely. So when I'm not busy with my children and grandchildren and all the other mother things like cooking, shopping, and laundry, when I'm having quieter downtime, YouTube has been a helpful distraction over the past few years. Sad but true. I'm blessed in other ways. My kids, my Lord. My 29-year-old son, Paul, tuned me onto you. He and his wife, I'm going to read this. This does not sound very, like, churchian. This sounds like a genuine person. His wife, Cheyenne, in the picture, they are in the far left with their baby. Met you in Dallas. I was with them at the Flat Earth Convention. Oh, okay, we're getting more based. And also, we saw you in Indiana when you did your comedy tour. Thank you for the 2019 and 2020 Christmas cards. Well, I felt compelled to write to you because you have been talking about the Trinity, and I want to offer some things I think may have been help or may sway your thinking. I think where I should start is by giving you some of the passages that come to mind that would support Jesus and the Father being one, God, the same being. There's so many more, but these are the ones I can think of. And Isaiah calls Jesus mighty God and everlasting Father. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna read after this because these conversations, and I'm very calm. I'm very calm. very rarely do these people ever address my points. When there's lines in the Bible and passages in the Bible where there's absolutely no way it can be the same person, I think it may be a title or something. I don't know. But if anybody ever wants to write to me about the Trinity, it's not that I don't understand that you guys have passages that makes you think this. I have passages that make me think it isn't, and no one seems to ever address them. And so I'd rather just not talk about it because I don't even think it's that big of a deal at all. All right. So my point, all right. The Father says to the Son, your throne, O God, endures forever and is a scepter of righteousness. Right. Father says to the Son. So is he talking to himself? I'm not going to get upset, I promise. But so if I say to my son, this homestead will endure the ages, you will inherit, blah, 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 that doesn't make Walter me. And if I start thinking that way, nothing makes sense. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're just going to keep going. So my point in showing you these verses is to show you that there is so much in the Bible, many passages showing the separate roles of the Son and, oh, I get it, and the Father and the Holy Spirit, and then many passages showing that Jesus is God. This is why the doctrine of the Trinity was named and established as a staple of the Christian faith. I don't believe it is a staple of the Christian faith. They're now trying to claim Zionism as a staple of the Christian faith. You understand? Like, Van Allen Bear texted me something hilarious. He went to the DMV, and it was a church called the Trinity Church. Israeli flag, Zionism, Trinity. It's like within 20 years, if someone doesn't support Israel, a Christian will say, you can't be a Christian and not support Israel. It's like, yes, I can. And it's very similar, in my opinion, as to the claim that Jesus is God. That's a claim. And I haven't seen enough backing that it's true. And I'm not trying to be upset. They already say that now, BB. Right. That if you don't back the country, the tax cattle entity called Israel, then you are not Christian. Nothing is new for this. I got the whole thing said to me by the Steven Crowder fans that because I'm not pro-war in the Middle East and Israel, oh, if you don't defend Israel, God won't defend you. You don't think I've heard all this shit? If you don't defend Israel, then God won't defend. God blesses those who bless Israel. Israel is a grabbly little tax haven for pedos and war. Okay? So when people tell me that a staple of the Christian faith has to be this certain line, I say, no, it doesn't. I was raised on the 700 Club where these people were riding around in their Lear jets that were given to them by the hopeful and the duped. The people that were giving them money. Oh, people give you money. Yeah, I'll get some money. Don't get me wrong. And I build awesome stuff for it. How often did the people in the 700 Club actually build stuff for their community? How often? I mean, I watched it my whole childhood. That's why it drew me away from Christianity. If it's not in the gospel, it's not a staple. Exactly. And there's so much contradiction to it in it. It's quite Christian to not support Israel. Exactly. And I'm not saying, here's the difference between me and a lot of Trinity people. Not this woman. This woman sounds very sweet. I don't say you're not Christian. How do these churchians explain that verse pre-1950s? They don't. I mean, the Trinity was created over 300 years after Jesus. 300 years. There's the real Trinity, 3 centuries. Israel in the Bible is the faith in Christ. Right, and I've explained what I believe the Father and Son being one means and the connection Jesus had with God the Father in heaven. I've explained my ideas, and the fact that people don't seem to accept my opinion is odd. And so they think, I understand, this is the best way to handle it, by the way. This is cool. Yeah, no one is blessed before 1950. Oh, no, it's a 70% atheist pedophile haven of warmongers. So if you don't bless them, you don't, God doesn't bless you. That's absolute nonsense. The way the Steven Crowders of the world think that they can trick God into sending Jesus again, that if they create such hell through the state of Israel, then Jesus will come. That's why you have these unholy, hate-based alliances between people like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder, people who fundamentally hate each other, is because they both want Israel's success. One, because they think Jesus will return. The other because they think the original Mashiach will come, which Stephen would believe would be the Antichrist. How do you build a castle on that sand, guys? You don't. This is why the doctrine of the Trinity was named an established staple. All right, the word Trinity may not be there, but the concept is all over the place. Although in John it says the Father, the Word, the Holy Spirit this is not fact-based. I don't want to just piss people off. This woman, again, sounds very sweet. I love grandmothers. I love big families. And I'm not attacking you, and I'm not sending you letters about why you need to not believe in the Trinity. You can believe in the Trinity all day long. When Jesus said, I come here to do the will of my Father, not my will. When he says, Father, why have thou... The only explanation I've got is that was a literary reference to Psalms, that it was about Isaac. That, as a script writer, that makes no story sense. Why would Jesus say, why would Jesus do that? Father, why have thou forsaken me? Why did you just say that, Jesus? Because of Abraham and Isaac. It's a reference. It's like been a few thousand years. It's been a while. But if you know the story, it's a fucking home run. Oh, he says fucking, he's not, okay. When Jesus calls himself Son of God, he is saying he is one with the Father. So if Walter says son of Owen, is he saying he's one with Owen? That's a philosophical question you can answer yourself. You may say yes. You say, Walter and I are one because we're under the same family name, which I agree. Then you start getting into the tree of life. So yes, Jesus and the Father are one and connected in the tree of life, but so are we. So are we, ladies and gentlemen. If you get into that fractal reality of all being one in the tree of life, then yes, I agree with you. Jesus and the Father are one. But if he's our Father in heaven, then that makes Jesus our brother, which means we're all in the tree of life. Oh no, just Jesus. People say just Jesus because there was a motivation by an empire to make you not feel the connection to God yourself, that you and the Father are one. In certain ways, not you're not God. It's complicated, but it's all good. It's not the same as believers saying sons of God. Here's why. Owen, if you leave your estate to Walter and he inherits it when you die, right? Yes. Well, after estate tax by the grabbler. But the Father says the throne belongs to the Son and Father never dies because Jesus is a son in the truest sense. They are one. Well, I think that's borderline. Son, I think you're talking about the actual Son at that point, because that makes absolutely no sense. So how can someone stand on the right hand of himself? And again, that won't be referenced here. I promise you, I've asked this before. Jesus sits at the right hand of God. So if he is God, how does he sit at the right hand of himself? If you look at it as an estate, as a family, then yes, of course. Walter and me are both Smith. We are one in our family name. And yes, I can pass him my estate. Walter is not Owen. Or else you have to say everyone is everything, which a lot of New Agers do, which is fine. And again, that's fine, but you can't then say God is a separate entity. That's when you get into co-creators with God and we're all God and we have a higher self and all that. That is only established when you say we are all God. We are all in the same family. We are all united. I don't believe that. I think there was a creator and is a creator in another dimension that we can't comprehend. God can do whatever he wants. Right. It's taking God's power. So God granting Jesus the status of King of Kings on this earth is not saying he made the earth. He made Jesus. He made all of it. Oh, Jesus, the Word was with God in the beginning. I think we were all there in the beginning. Oh, how dare you? Okay. I think that there was a choice to be here. Mormons say that God was a human Mormon who had sex with Mary. I don't know. Made in the image of, right. Walter is made in the image of Amy and I, and ultimately God. It's fractal. It's like a giant tree. Picture a giant tree with like an not unlimited, with just branches to twigs to roots to picture this beautiful tree. And you get back to the one who made the tree. I totally understand what this woman's saying, and I get it. that we can't comprehend is the point we should all agree on, but I don't know what Polar Bear's saying. He should stick to comedy. In a sense, number one, the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. In sense number two, the Father is not the Son is not the Father, and the Holy Spirit is not the Father or the Son. With the Trinity, there is never a contradiction. I don't understand that, and I don't think anyone does, really. The aspect of the mystery or lack, I don't believe that faith requires a mystery. Obviously, we don't understand the mind, the dimension of God, but on this realm, we're supposed to understand what we believe. Who is God talking to when he said, "Let us make man in our image"? I don't know. Some people claim God is a duality. That's what a lot of the mysteries and a lot of those people, when they say, "Let us make man in our image," they believe that God was once two. I don't know. See, that's when the gravy gets wild. Other people say that God itself is a plural. This is when I tap out because the theology gets too intense. Whereas not Yahweh. It's there's another word for God, which is plural in Hebrew or Sanskrit. It's intense. Faith is for the simple. Well, I think it should be simple. Elohim of Elohims. Right, Elohim, yeah. See, that's some real grave. That's when you get into what is the dual nature of this realm? Maybe God was talking with Jesus in spirit, allegedly, if Jesus was there at the beginning. Maybe, I don't know. All I know is in a practical sense, what did Jesus represent on this earth and what was he doing here? And how could that be also him being God? This is the first time ever I've been talking about the Trinity and not getting mad. This is a big step for me. Because I feel like people are actually talking about and not just getting "How dare you?" This woman is doing this very well. Yeah, when you get into the language, when you get into the language of Sanskrit and Hebrew and stuff, like Elohim and the plural nature of the word God. God comes from Anglo-Saxon meaning good. Allah with the Arabs and the Muslims is it's almost like a breath, ah, la. It's like a heartbeat or a breath. Then you have Jehovah. You have Yahweh. There's these names. And then there's an argument that we can't hear the name of God or else we would just spiral. I don't know. Yeah, Yahweh with no vowels in it because they didn't have vowels back then. That's why I always thought Martin Luther King was interesting because MLK without vowels is Moloch. All right, God was speaking to the heavenly host. Man is created in the image of heavenly beings. That's why he is at the highest creation. I don't know. See, I don't have any opinions on that level. My level is oddly simple. I'm just then who did Jesus pray to? Because my shit always comes with really basics of the day. Who did Jesus pray to? Was he praying to himself? And people are just oh, how dare you? And I'm genuinely curious. Planned Parenthood is all over the MLK Avenue. Yeah, Moloch, MLK. Because his real name wasn't Martin. It was Steve. It was Michael or Stephen. They changed it because of Martin Luther. They could do more trickery with his name. And his mom was murdered in the church by a black parishioner. It's all true on some level totally. See, this is why I don't even think the fact that this woman came to me without argument, has been very helpful. So I appreciate your letter. I'll just finish this up. Because usually it's the for example, Burn Bear was right, in my opinion now, was right about the Canadian guy with the fake teeth and everything, in my opinion. He pointed out how he looked when I was giving him a lot of props for being a legend. But it was how Burn Bear did it that I didn't appreciate. He didn't handle himself properly. And I think a lot of Trinitarians are so aware that they have no idea what they're talking about. They haven't thought about it. And they realize there is a lot of contradictions. And when they were a kid, they asked some of them and were just yelled. People just yelled at them. I've heard that over and over. A lot of people are very pleased with my Trinity talks because when they were a kid, they asked these questions and no one knew and they were just beaten or yelled at. And so that's why they get so angry. But there are a group of people there are a group of people that actually have a calmness about it and can talk about it, but I don't really care enough because I don't believe the Trinity is a fundamental of Christianity because it's too vague. And some people have that OCD kicking where they're like, no, but if you don't, and everything else falls apart and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, not for me. Like, for me, it doesn't fall apart. Like, I don't need them to be the same being. And there is a tree of life where we're all connected. You know, all vibrations, all speech, all word, everything is connected. So you can say the Father and the Son are one in a way, but it can be very manipulated. And then you get into the Bono one world bullshit, and that's satanic. There is divisions between titles, people, all that stuff. All right. The Orthodox position is that Jesus is a duality, fully God and fully man. Right, but I fully don't understand that. Because is he a God? Well, that's polytheism, and it goes against the first commandment. Or is he the God, one God? He can't be the God and the man. I can't comprehend that. And I think it contradicts the first commandment by Moses. I mean, and if people are mad at me for that, they can fuck off. And it isn't a staple of Christianity. Neither is supporting Israel. Neither is clipping your dick. All right. So with these two senses, Jesus can be 100%. Let me make sure I get this. The aspect of mystery or lack of being able to fully comprehend how this could be should not surprise us, because the one true God of the universe should be far above our complete understanding. Right, so you're admitting you don't understand. If you want to use the excuse that you can't understand and it's a mystery, then you can't make any claims. Because the Bible does have different titles for Jesus and God. So if you really don't understand it, you can't tell anyone else anything. Like, for example, I don't know what God meant when he said made in our image. That's why I tap out at that level of gravy. Like the dual nature of the word Elohim. I have not done enough research, studying. I have no idea what that means. What I know God to be in my heart and from my experience is what I'm talking about and what the Bible says in English. I don't understand because God is infinite. Right, but if you say, no one can ever really know, okay, you're wrong. You understand you can't have it both ways. BB, important and shows your point. First commandment, have no other gods before me, not have no other gods. I have to think about that, gravy. That is an interesting point. Why did they say before me? We can grow but have no other gods before me. So you can have lower ranking gods? I don't know. That doesn't feel right to me, but that's an interesting way to interpret that. Hey, Trinitarians, you see how it's done? You just think of something that contradicts what you were just saying and you go, what did they mean by before me? You see how I didn't just immediately react with anger? Also in the Quran, the book dedicated to Mary, it's plural identity that puts Jesus in her womb. Okay, let's just keep going a little bit here. So with those two senses, Jesus can be 100% God and 100% man, a sinless man. Hang on, I got to finish this. Should not surprise us because the one true God of the universe should be far above our complete understanding. No, I do agree with something you're saying. I believe Jesus' life was a way God would allow us to understand his plan on earth. I think the jump to Trinity is to say, oh, that means he's God. I think that God was using him, like he does all of us, in his grand plan to give us a life, something we can understand, something we can comprehend, to live by. And so for that, it was the vicar of God. It was the voice of God. It was the logos of God. Logos, the word. And so was it God? See, this is philosophical, I guess, because it's like, does that mean he is God? In my opinion, no. That is a part of God's plan used to guide his people, to rescue, to guide the lost sheep of Israel. And that's it. These are philosophical issues, and it does not mean you're not Christian if you don't say Jesus is the God or a God. That isn't a staple, in my opinion. If you think Jesus is God, you're putting Jesus before God, that's forbidden. That's what I believe, too. Chucking it up to we are not to understand it, never say it well. Well, I understand that there's a lot we don't understand, but if you don't understand something, there's a lot I don't understand. I have no idea what the afterlife is. I'm not going to make any claims. I don't know a ton. When you don't have any idea and you've chalked it up to mystery, you can't then make a lot of claims. I like BB's theory that you follow Jesus, worship God. Yeah, that's what Jesus said to do literally over and over again. That's why people in these things, they never answer my questions. When it's like Jesus said to not worship him and to worship the Most High because it is God who blesses us, not Jesus, not him. And that's what he does. So how does that match him being God? You know, it doesn't. Guys, it doesn't, in my opinion. So, all right, I'm just going to skip ahead here. In the Bible, the Father and the Son defer to each other. It's really beautiful. The Father says, exalt my Son above all. And Jesus said, the Father is greater than I. And that only scratches the surface. Right. But see, unless my points are addressed, I don't. The reason he is called the Son of Man or firstborn among men is because he is the most exalted man or greatest man ever. Right. And a man cannot be God. Because he had no sin and humbled himself and became man and manifested himself in flesh, only God could have no sin. Yes, the whole reason he was put to death was for blasphemy. Blasphemy, claiming to be God, was the charge against him. That is what he was crucified for. Right, which he never claimed to be God. He never claimed to be God. And in my opinion, that's a Roman lie to avoid a wrongful death suit against Jesus Christ, the Savior of man. He never said he was God. To twist and misinterpret his words is to justify his crucifixion, in my opinion. If he was God, he wouldn't keep answering in question form, staying in honor. He would say, I am God, worship me. Like, he never said that. If he had done that, the Romans and the Jews had every right to kill him, according to their law. And that's why he never claimed it. He never claimed to be God, in my opinion. Jesus said he had tundi. I don't know what that means. The big unknown is what we can never know, which parts of the Bible were changed. I've thought about that, though, but I think the Bible is still decreed by God to exist, so it has to be true. I think there are limitations of language and grabbles based on very easy things that we can figure out, like jealous God versus demanding fidelity. But I think that we should read it pretty much as true because obviously it can be changed, but it's still all under God's decree. So I don't know. That's when things get a little... I'm not a theologian for this reason. Jesus never corrected them. Right. That is what he was crucified for. Jesus never corrected them and said, I am not claiming to be God. Wouldn't a great man at least do that? No, it wasn't his. This is how you walk on water. This is how you operate in the world, but not of it. This is how you rise above the banks of the river, the water, is you don't answer any questions. This is that whole sovereign movement, which I think is kind of gay. I do love a lot of people in it, but you can't have stuff and do that. That's why Jesus said that you can't have stuff. You have to be like poor, basically. You have to have, because it's like in order to beat them at their own game, you can't want what they have. That's why Adolfo Hilario is not the hero or villain that people think he was. Well, definitely not the hero that some ultra-based people think he was, because he wasn't fighting the banks. He was trying to be the bank. And although he had a better deal than the World Bank, he was still trying to be the bank. If you want to be the bank, they'll kill you. Ask Gaddafi, ask any of them. Jesus was saying that the rich man can't enter the kingdom of God because they'll have leverage over you. So, no, it's not his, like answering questions to the Pharisee is the problem. You never answer the Pharisee. And so him not correcting them is not admission of guilt. Like if a police officer right now said, you have 5 pounds of crack cocaine in your pocket, I would say, do you have some evidence for that? I wouldn't just say no. I mean, I would in reality because I would just cops are just I would be like, no, look at my, I shouldn't do that though. It gives them more tyranny. There's a lot of arguments around this. But the way to actually be is you go, do you have some evidence for that? What gives you the authority to search my pockets? That's how you actually beat the Pharisee. Answer the question with a question. It's not an admission. You're not claiming to be God simply because you're not answering the question of hissing snakes. The whole thing is you're supposed to answer with a question. And so he never made the claim that he was God. Yeah, you say, am I being detained? Have I done my service to you? What do you mean? Well, we both know that if a police officer needs help, a living man should see if they need any help. And I'm asking, do you need help? No, I'm here to, okay, then I've done my service of care. Thank you. Have a great day, officer. But, so am I being detained? What gives you the authority to detain me? Have I committed a crime? What is your evidence? Oh, because he didn't correct the officer, it means he's God. No, this is literally how you beat them. Well, it's not how you beat them, it's how you survive. It's how you survive in their world. The Father and the Son are two separate persons who shared the same essence. Jesus said that in John. Right. They're different. Okay, so you think Jesus, the guy who ate food and shit on planet Earth, like he shit out of his ass, do you think that's God? Like the Most High who created heaven and earth? Like, if Jesus ate, where'd the food go? Oh, it disappeared. He shit out of his ass. Do you think God, the creator of all... I'm just trying to break you out of this fucking crazy thing here. It's a different dimension. The creator of all. Oh, no, Jesus ate, but he never shit out of his butt. Why would he eat? Because he was showing other people how to eat. No, they knew how to eat. All right. That was Jesus' human nature. Okay, Liam. That was him. That was when God decided to be a human. Okay, let's just play devil's advocate here. So in those moments, did God no longer exist? So when Jesus, 100% man and 100% God, decided in a moment, I'm going to be a man right now and shit out of my asshole. Oh, no, the food just disappeared. Okay. So in that moment when he was like, okay, I'm not going to be God right now. I'm shitting out of my asshole. And then I'm going to wipe my ass. Fact. Oh, you're being blasphemous. No, I'm not. He ate food. Food gets digested. Where did the food go? Okay, so in those moments when he was, let's say he's dead on the cross, did God not exist at that point? No, God's always existing. So then he didn't actually die. Oh no, he died for our sins. How do you die and exist at the same time? His persona, it's like a corporation. He dissolved a corporation. So that's not really death then. That's death of a fiction. So you think Jesus Christ was a fiction? Oh no, Jesus Christ is not a fiction. He's the Son of Man. Okay, you're fucking retarded, in my opinion. Sorry, I'll calm down. Whenever I wear the robes of fair, I get a little fired up. God is a transcendent essence personified by three persons. Okay, Liam, you're a dumb person. So it's personified by Jesus, who's now a dead guy, and the Holy Spirit, which only that you don't really understand. It's all a mystery. And then God in heaven. Really? You sure? Sure that's what it is? So when Jesus died on the cross, so his God part just like, did it float away? So Jesus as a man died, but as a God didn't die. So he didn't really die. So it wasn't actually a sacrifice. It wasn't actually a crucifixion. He didn't die for your sins because he never died. Unless you think you can kill God. Oh no, he didn't die though. Okay, so he didn't die. Oh no, he died for our sins. Okay, that's why you're on opiates. That's why you watch porn. That's why you drink alcohol every night. Yeah, he responded by saying, it is you who says that I say that. Guys, as someone who's followed Jesus, people do that to me all the time. You hate Jews. It is you who says that, right? Whenever I say I don't hate Jews, it never works in my favor. They always go, oh, look at him squirming and lying. The best way to handle it is, you hate Jews. And I go, it is you who says that, not me. I never made that claim. What's your evidence to support that? Right? It's that fucking simple. Technically, it does say Jesus gave up the ghost. So he didn't die then. And Jesus as a man died, but not as a God though. No. So when would he tap out of God and just be man and vice versa? So as a man, did he sin? Or is just as a God he didn't sin? So when he was a man, when he was like, tap out, I'm a man now. Fuck you. Like, what do you can't base a worldview on this nonsense, in my opinion. Belly laughing, nice. Not his divine nature. No, that didn't die. So just some asshole named Jesus died for your sins? Oh no, it was God, God's son. So not God, his son? No, but it was God though. Yeah? This is all just playing out perfectly in your mind? No one ever really dies. His spirit. This is what I think happens when you die. I'm done with the Trinity stuff. But thank you very much. I appreciate you sent me a letter. And that was a very nice way of handling it. I think that, like, you know how there's, like, the concept of the download and the upload? His second death meant nothing. Well, if it meant nothing, then it wasn't a real sacrifice. God sent his only son to die for our sins. Oh, so he died. No, God can't die. Oh, what? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Ugh. Bunch of fucking psychopaths. Let me read this. To help you better understand how three become one, tee hee. Ah! What is this? It really said tee hee. This book is dedicated to my wife, Jill, who is as much part of these pages as the Irish people. No one cares about Jill. Leon. I hate it. All right, hilarious. You couldn't write this better. No, God is writing it right now. You're literally in the Bible right now. Oh, how dare you? It's a joke. Guys, time. I just opened that with a knife. Oh, how dare you? It's like you're watching the jokes God will play on man. It's like, you don't think that there's divine, not intervention. I'm not making any claims. You see how you don't make claims? Trinity people. That was a synchronicity beyond. The order of these things is mind-blowing. To the point where people think I fake it. Look. Hang on. Where is it? I promise you I'm not. I swear on everything. We are currently on page 30. Let's take a look on page 33. Hey, Wall. Oh, is that Charles? Hey, Charles. God has amazing comic timing. Yeah. And people go, oh, how dare you? It's like, it's a joke. It's becoming comical. All right, page 33. Well, that's not saying a hell of a lot. I'm going to tell you once who Charles Stewart. Yeah, dude, the first name on it is Charles. My son Charlie just walked upstairs. Hey, Charlie. Want to come here and say hi to the people? Come here, Charlie. I want everybody to see how handsome you are. Come on. Don't you want to feel my fur? Charlie. You like that little wolf? All right, cool. You don't have to come over, buddy. All right, let's open something else. The young squire has arrived indeed. Hey, buddy. What are you looking for? Are you looking for toys? You can play with anything on the ground. It literally, in the note, said tee hee on it. Swear to God. I gotta find the note. Where's the... Oh, I crumpled it up. But the Trinity. Oh, buddy, I think I got a book for you. You got to be kidding me. Guys, I promise you I'm not making this up. You know how I was just like, Charlie, come here. I just got a book called This Way, Charlie. You just watched me open that. Here you go, buddy. When I say I like understand, like I understand the Like, what makes us connected? I'm serious. I just opened a book. Okay, so I got that letter. The next thing I open is the Trinity book. And then my son Charlie comes up and I'm like, come here, Charlie. And then I open up another package and it's called This Way, Charlie. People, oh, how dare you, it's all planned. There's no way. Where are you going, bud? You gonna take that downstairs? Nice. God, do we have any more super chats? EntropyStream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. I'm officially in a holodeck. No, we're not in a holodeck. There's just God. God's in another dimension, crushing. I know. Lady QAnon Bear is going to the Lady QAnon Bear right now. Literally is in a message board like, "Oh, Donald Trump just totally killed it with the deep state with Owen." Okay, here's another letter. God wrote the program. Yes. Okay, it's the equivalent of being holodeck confirmed. 2 sinks in a row. That's like 10 sinks. Oh, and your formerly friendly neighborhood Weewo Bear here, Illuminamish Star Traveler. I've watched your streams off and on for years now, and it seems there's a pattern, a trend, one might say. It's my turn to say how dare you, like many former bears before me. I was with you when you woke the sleepy heads about the moon. I was with you when you flattened the realm for the blind and deaf. Hey, AIM. Yeah, I'm checking on Charlie. 1 second, guys. You okay, Charlie? Is he good? He's okay. He just fell down like the last stair. All right. I knew it wasn't like a bad cry, but it was enough where I had to get up. I had to remove my furs. For those of you without kids, that happens a lot. So don't get freaked out. People without kids are like, oh my God, I just heard a cry. It's like, yeah, that's parenting. He probably dropped his book or something. Sometimes if they haven't had a nap or had enough food, little things can spiral them. Okay, where's that letter I just had? There it is. Let me read some super chats first. Warlock Bear, what do you call the offering of a fox when it's grown but fox? What do you call offspring? What do you call the offspring of a god when grown? As children of God, we submit to our Father as a good man should. We grow into lesser gods like Jesus was. Doesn't mean we're bigger, just like you and Walter, just my view. According to the Trinity, that's a fine view to have. If we're all gods, then that's what that means. John 10:30, I and the Father are one. Thanks, A Stone Bear. I've heard that before and explained it. This Trinity proselytizing is a big reason I stayed away from the church for so long. Yeah, me too, and everyone else. It's literally madness. It's bizarre how badly they need you to believe what they believe. Right, because because you don't have to do what he says when you worship him. That's why I don't let people worship me. Worship is bad. Like if someone's like, "Oh, Big Bear, you without you, I'd be nothing." I'm like, stop. Why? Because they freeze you on the pedestal. People worship their girlfriends, their wives, their whatever, because they then don't have to actually be a living man. Like, that's why this community has thrived so much, is because I don't want worshipers. I don't want fans. I want, compatriots. I want community. I want friends. I don't want people to look at me like I can do something they can never do. Interestingly enough, Jesus says, you'll all do more than I ever did. He wasn't making worshipers. He was creating holy people. And he knew shit that other people didn't know. And he was sharing that in ways that other people could understand for the first time in centuries. It was like the Pharisee, the priest class, they would say things that no one understood. It was just like how science is now. Jesus would be like, no, it's simple. It's just like the prodigal son returns. He tells stories of farming. He tells stories of a man on the side of a road that no one would help. and people would finally understand it, and they were set free by it. That book was from a thrift store. Woody sent it. It might not have anything to do with the Trinity. Haha. It's still funny. So that's why Jesus was so mind-blowing, because he was like, he took the divinity that a lot of these priest classes knew, and he made it so everybody could understand it. And that scared the powers that be, because a lot of people weren't supposed to understand anything. They were the goyim, they were the slaves. The Shabbos goy, they made them out of clay, And when they saw him, they worshiped him, but some doubted. Matthew 28:16. I don't know the context of that. I know Jesus said not to worship him. All right. Oh, and you're formally... I read that already. I can't stand arguing with Christians, by the way. I think a lot of them are so brain dead at this point that they don't even know what they're saying. They're just regurgitating. And I get it. I lucked out by having a bunch of pedophiles as priests in my town. Legit pedophiles. Because we didn't go to church in my teen years, and then until my son was born, I didn't consider myself a Christian. And I missed out on a lot of the brainwashing, I think. All right. The Trinity binary. Want to get into some gravy? What if the Trinity is a different reality script where it's like, right now it appears we're in a binary, white, black, on, off, left, right, up, down, ones and zeros. The entire world seems to be obsessed with ones and zeros, the binary. What if the Trinity, I'll give you some props. This is something that could be. What if the Trinity is like a three? It's like a stool. It's a better program. It's a better program script for reality itself. I don't know. What if there's like 1101001001101001001? That's like everything you're looking at on the screen right now comes from a binary system of gates. A gate will open and close based on electric impulse. What if there's one with 3? Because there has to be something true in the Trinity, or else it wouldn't have any legs. Evolution into a threefold reality. Nice. Right. Like that, the Trinity is a dimension. That's something I can talk about. The trinary. Instead of binary, it's trinary. But then you get into the gender shit that everyone's talking about. 3, 6, 9, high holy numbers. Yeah. The binary, male, female. The trinary, male, female, and then another group, right? And then you start getting it, well, what about quadrary? I don't know, though. I'm not writing reality script, but it seems like computers are based on binary math. There was a talk for a while about using trinary. Right. What if that's what the Trinity has been, like, edging for? I appreciate you trying to work through it, BB. Reminds me of when you were coming around to Realm Earth. Yeah, and there's something in it. Like, there is something to Globe Earth. There is. The entire realm is shaped like it appears that when... Not the land itself, but just like, I'll just do a quick talk about this and then I'll keep reading this letter. Evolution is real in a 9-month term. Lightning strikes. That's the Big Bang is when your parents had sex. Primordial ooze, semen, and vaginal fluid. The lightning strikes, the act of God, divinity. Single cell, mutate to multiple cell, which looks like a little fish, climbs out of the sea, looks like an ape, born, right? So that's how that spell works. There has to be something true about the Trinity. I know that there's a lot true about the Trinity in construction and in like math, but in the story of Jesus, I don't see anything true about it. Male, female, God. Well, it's like globe Earth. Like it does appear that we're in something resembling like an egg. That's why they say shit like we're in a pear or an egg, like Neil deGrasse Tyson. The land, Middle Earth, is flat. But it appears there's the heavens and then hell. And that's a circle. That's like a spherical object. And so that's kind of how these spells work. It's always an inverse. It's never just out of nowhere. So there has to be something to Trinity, and there has to be something to people being one. Like everyone is, in my opinion, connected. But they have to have separate identities, or else you enter this realm of complete nonsense. Kind of like the communist bullshit where everybody's the same. We're not. Our individuality in our culture should not be homogenized and pasteurized. That being said, there is a universality to all of creation, and we're all in creation. And God did make us in his image. And then you get into like our image, and what does that mean? Is that the binary? Is that the original? I don't fucking know. That's when I tap out. My thing is storyline. The storyline of Jesus, it doesn't make sense to me if he's all man and all God. I just don't get it. No, much love to Orthodox, by the way. Big fan of a lot of those people. They've maintained their church very well. They didn't fall for, in general, they haven't fallen for the Zionist spell, which is huge. That's kind of the less spells you fall for as an organization, the more it reflects your stability. Like the Catholic Church is, I mean, they've been accepting lies for so long that their leader is literally satanic, which the Orthodox don't seem to have that as bad. All right, let me finish this. Russian Orthodox lead a revival of sorts. Well, I just really like the people. I like a lot of Catholics too. Maybe that's what I should do and not make any claims on the institutions. Just judge people based on the individuals that attend the churches or because especially in North Idaho, some of the best people go to Orthodox churches. I think that's a good way to do it. Yes, but worshiping saints is gross. Well, those are lesser gods if you follow the Trinity. That's a pantheon. And that's why when they condemn the heathens and stuff, I find it so funny. Because when you're like, you give a day in reverence to, and they literally have idols and stuff. They keep their bones. They have icons. They wear little icons. So those are gods. So, I mean, there's no difference. That's like Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Neptune, the god of the sea. It's like you now have Mount Olympus. You have the gods are the saints. And then Zeus is above them, which is the sun god, the son of God. Sound fucking familiar? That's why it becomes a fractal hell, in my opinion. I love how Pockets looks at saints. He's like, we should all be saints. I love that. And any institution that says only these special people can be saints and not you, they're full of shit. All right. But rollerblading Packy policeman BB, how double dog dare you make fun of this completely legitimate law enforcement tactic? I mean, I just finished drafting the grant paperwork to approve $6 million to fully outfit 33 highly trained patrol people. Yes, women are cops too, with the essential 9.11 pieces of equipment necessary to outfit each officer in the department. That list includes 2 carbon fiber graphite bearing inlines, 2 ballistic elbow pads, 2 ballistic knee pads. It's hysterical. 1 ballistic helmet, 1 ballistic vest, and obviously all for COVID-19 face mask that my department mandates we wear. We would have been shut down if it weren't for the final item on the list. The grant would have been otherwise impossible to get approved unless I had requested the specialized aerodynamic mask system with additional virus protection N95 potato in your butt. Oh, dude, remind me about potatoes. The union demanded we be safe from COVID before bullets, knives, batons, etc. Dude, this is real. Fun fact, the foundation supporting the grant was based out of Mallorca, TTGT Incorporated, Tea Time with Gary and Terry. The CEO and CFO were so excited they sent this letter. Officer Ober, we are super excited to hear about your grant application. So excited that Gerald and I have decided to personally sail back to the States with a special bag in hand, if you know what I mean. Super silly question. Do you want the emergency lights built into the helmet or just high visibility skin tight short shorts? See you soon, my big strong heroes. Can't wait to talk this over with you with a big bag of tea. Love, Terrell. God bless you, BB, and your family. It's not quite the Bowler Bear masterpiece. No, it's hysterical. But I made myself chuckle a bit writing it. Hope this finds you well with love from Maine and not the Gerald and Terrell kind. Amish astronaut bear. P.S. I've thought a lot about bailing on police work. With some recent big arrests on some pedophiles, I realized that God blessed me with the investigation skills and intellect needed to stop true evil. Yes. Dude, the government is not just bad. We got to stop thinking that way. The alternative is significantly worse. A close friend and your response to an older letter made me recognize that there need to be people like us out in the beast system fighting back. Yes, bro. Yes. If we are to run from evil, we'll just get eaten last. Dude, moral cops and moral investigators and moral bureaucrats are really important. You know, it's easy to be someone like me adorned in fine furs, just talking shit from my attic in Idaho and have people send me gold, silver, bullets, you know, to be like, oh, fuck the government. No. Really think about what the government is. Like, look back to what I was just talking about with Princess Bride. The government is this guy. The guy that the sneak tells, like, gives false information to, and then he rounds up the thieves' forest because he thinks they're going to try and assassinate the princess. That's always how they are. Like, the FBI is known for this shit. The FBI is basically the royal guard to the wealthy of America. But the wealthy of America they want a cohesive and cared for lower classes, because if not, they revolt and kill everybody. It happens all the time in history. So that's why they don't just want you dead. Like, one of the bears, good guy, has some trouble, you know, can be troubled, but whatever. He may have made some comments on some social media that implied he was going to hurt himself. I'll just leave it at that. God bless the guy. I hope he's good. He's doing much better, all that. A bunch of like cops and SWAT team people showed up to his house to make sure he didn't. Granted, he was never actually going to, allegedly. But the government was trying to keep him alive, and he's not like a big hitter when it comes to like making tons of tax revenue for these people. There is an element of the government that wants to keep as many of its people alive. And then there's an element, a real sneaky element, that wants to kill a bunch of people. Like the eugenicists. And you have to understand that they don't just want you dead, or else if they just wanted you dead, and I faced this, I was wrong about this. I thought they were going to kill a bunch of people this winter. They would just turn off the electricity in the middle of the winter. Hope they didn't shoot him. No, they didn't. But just the fact that there is protocols to try and keep people from killing themselves means they want their tax cattle alive. All right. That's all. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not like the government isn't always just trying to figure out how to kill you, because they want as many people, they want as many peasants as they can get. And they don't, you know, to at least have a functioning life, so they don't just burn everything down. All right, here's some more super chats. Thank you, Kyneton Bear. March Madness right now. Opinions on watching and following sports. I grew up with a dad who watched sports on TV all the time. If you like it, I mean, that's fine. I don't, but a tip for the crushing synchronicity. Well, thank you, Nancy. Yeah, it's like my wife's dad was watching basketball the whole time he was here. He loves it. Who am I to be like, don't do that? What should you do? Listen to conspiracy theories about agriculture? All right, that's gonna wind me down. All right, actually, I can open another one. And I do appreciate the Trinity letter. I know that person, I can tell, has a really beautiful faith and isn't angry and wants me to help. The Trinity people I like are the ones that want to help me understand the beauty of it. The ones I loathe are the ones that are like, if you don't understand this, you're not Christian. But here's the thing, I shouldn't even loathe them. Oh, I forgot I ordered this for myself. Turpentine. Pure gum spirits. All right, what else I got? I'll do one more. March Madness is pretty exciting. Yeah, I mean, I'm from a Syracuse, New York area, so we got really excited about March Madness when I was younger. especially when the Syracuse Orangemen had like beat all odds and end up in the Final Four. Oh, this is cool. Wow. Look at this. What a great present. A squid and a whale for Wally. Sir Walter, happiest of birthdays to you. Please teach this whale and squid how to crush like you. May you always be like the hero of your story. C.F. Bear. Thank you. Wonderful. May you always be the hero of your story. What a great line. So true. I love this. Hang on, what kind of fur is this? It's so delicious. Did I just call fur delicious? That might be my first homosexual experience. Took me 40 years. There it was. I just called fur delicious. In a much saner time, I would have been drawn and quartered for that. A nice mug. Woohoo! Beartaria Times mug. Are we selling these? Guys, legit. BeartariaTimes.com. I don't know if we're actually selling these or these like, or if that was just some sort of thing someone sent me. Just blame the chemtrails, BB. Yeah, Milo is wearing trucker hats and BB is wearing fur. 2021 as well, yeah. What do we have here? What is this? Walter's Wonderful Web. Love it. Thank you. All right, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for everything everybody sent me. I've been adorned in fur. Again, it just, I was trying to make today a little lighter and just comedic, but instead I ranted about the dangers of porn, ranted about the Trinity, and pretty much just did the same thing I always do. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, you're wrong. Today was awesome. Oh, sweet. He dropped it in Tel Aviv. My buddy had a champion fur jacket he got from his grandmother. It was creepy. Oh, how dare you. Amazing stream. Thanks, BB. Anytime, Alexander. BB, the pimp brings all the hoes to the yard, then starts working the soil. It was a blast today. Nice. I felt like today was a good one. All right. Much love, everybody. So, unauthorized.tv, Beartaria Times, the app. Find your tribe. It's the best app on the internet for social media. Fact. Nothing comes close. There's no pornography, no swearing, no politics, no despair. Just crushers. Unbearablesmedia.com. Go enjoy all of the great works by our bear creators. If you'd like to send me anything, P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. Deep gratitude again for all the people who sent me letters and furs and precious, precious money. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I had a wonderful day. I'm glad that we shared it together. All right, be fruitful and multiply. Don't be fruity and boil guy. Oh, and I hear this guy, the Rabbi of Judah on Instagram, seems to be dropping a lot of knowledge. At Rabbi of Judah seems to be really dialed in. Tee-hee. All right. I'll see you guys soon.